Hi guys, my name is Mohammed, and today I'm going to show you how I built JobMatch with Langflow. In this today world of AI and job scarcity, a lot of people apply to job blindly without knowing the chances of getting the actual job. So JobMatch will help you analyze your resume based on the job data, the job title, and the job description, how well you've qualified for the job, and what is your chance of getting the job. It also gives you recommendation. It's assume you are the HR, so it is going to give the HR the recommendation. By that, you can actually work on your resume and make it better. It shows you the missing skills, and then it shows you the skills that you possess for that particular job. This can help you analyze, edit before actually applying for the job. Now let's look into the architecture of how this works. Right, the user comes to the browser, then they upload resume and job details to the React frontend. So this is the frontend, right? The user can upload job title, job description, and then the resume. Then the React frontend, right, now send the request. They post it to upload with the file and then the session ID. We have a Go Backend API. After that, they also post to analyze with the job title, the job description, and then the session ID, right? After uploading, analyzing, then we get the result in our front-end API. Now let's see how Go handles that. So when Go API see any result, any call to upload here, they save the resume to our database. So our API save the resume to our database on upload. Then on analyze, they call Langflow. They call the Langflow workflow. It is an API call. And then Langflow will send the resume. The Langflow will get the resume from DB by session ID, right? And then it will send the resume and then the job details. It will send it to our LLM. We are using Google Generative AI. Then the Google Generative AI is going to return a JSON analysis, right? Then back to our front end, analyze is done. Then this get results. When this AI send a JSON analysis, this Langflow is going to save the result to DB in the results table. Then when we call results slash session ID, our Go API gets the result from our DB by the session ID. Then analyze calls, return OK, then we'll return JSON results. So there's we first send an option, then we send a request to analyze. The Go API will call the Langflow. Langflow will call its LLM and save the result to the DB. Then after that, when we call session results session ID, the Go API is going to return the results JSON from our DB directly, and then we can now display analysis to the user. That's pretty much the architecture of the system. Now let's look into Langflow flows. Right, this is our flow in Langflow. We can test this, right? Let's just test this. So we are already using this session ID. When we send, you see it starts running. If you notice, it is running. It's called Google Generative AI. After some while, after it is done analyzing, we extract it and we save it to our DB. So after some seconds, the Google Generative AI is done with it, and then we save it to DBA and we chat output. In our chat output, we are going to say data successfully saved to database. Now, let's look at it one by one. First, we have a SQL database. We just I edited the normal one from Langflow to a simple one. So we just do select text from resume where session ID equals to session ID. The session ID here will be gotten automatically, right? You see now it is gone unless we turn it on here. It is because we are saving. That's why we are using a custom session ID or a custom data. So if you notice here, it calls the result because we save when the user uploads the resume, we save it as an encoded base 64 string. So when we save it, so we are going to get that 64 base 64 encoded string. Then we have a for loop. This loop is designed so when the user has a lot of resumes, we can do it once, and our AI will just keep going through it and analyzing it, and then save the final result as a JSON file. So on each item, so the last one will be empty because it is done. On each item, we call this extract input data. It is a custom component. You see this chat input here is where we send the job details and then the job data as I sent here right now. This thing here. So from our backend, we are going to send it with the API call as an input. You understand? Yeah. So here in the extract input code, as you notice here, we extract the file, extract data file and the text. Based on the file, if it is a PDF, we extract its text. If it is a doc file, we extract its text. And then if it is normal text, we extract it. And our job text, we get it from our call input. That is this component. If you notice, this is the component and we are passing it here. And you can see the final output here, the resume text from our database, and then the job details from our chat input. That's how we get it. Then after getting all that, we send it to our LLM. So we send it to the Google Generative AI here, and this is the prompt. We tell the Google Generative AI to analyze it and all, then return this JSON file every time. They're going to return this JSON object. As you can see, we can analyze the output, and it will be a JSON. You see here, that's the result. And I turn down the temperature to 0 so we can have a precise output every time. And this extract output will be, it is also a custom component to just return the AI output to a structured output, right? You see here, special key, and then we do that. And then we return a data. Then the data, we pass it back to the loop so that every time it will be saved as our aggregated output. You see here. So this done will just be the list of this data here. The done here will be the list of the data here. Because we are running one, we are going to have just one output here, as you can see here. We have the candidate email, the match score, relevant experience, relevant skills, missing skills summary, and all. And after doing that, then we save this resume to database. Also, it is also a SQL component that I edited. What we are just doing is just insert into results, and then if it is already existing, then we just update it. So that's what we're doing, and that's pretty much everything, and that's how it works. Now we can now test this real life. Yeah, we can test it in real life. I have a job from LinkedIn, so let's see how it works. We can reload this. We are detecting the IP so people don't misuse it, and that's why we are limiting with the IP. So copy the job detail, then I'll upload my resume. So I have my resume here. Then let's see it working. You see, uploading resume. We first uploading the resume by calling the upload endpoint. We call the upload endpoint. We are running the analysis by calling the analyze endpoint, which our backend is then going to call Langflow. After some moments, we can find it in our playground here. So this is it. You see, we have a new one here, and after some time, you can see here it is done. It is working, and then analysis is done, and that's it. Because you can see the result, very clean and straightforward. This way, every time you want to apply for a job, instead of applying blindly, you can analyze your resume here. You see, this is pretty much a very easy job. If I go for hard jobs, you understand, coming. So I'm trying to like find something that won't be, you know, that won't get me that much percentage, right? So the job data, see that, upload that resume, then let's see what the AI is going to say. You can check here. If you notice, there will be new one here now. You can see there's a new request there. So analysis is running. We can just stay here. After we get save to DB successfully, we can know it is working successfully. Something like this. And if there's an error, we are going to see it here. Analysis done. So we should see save to DB successfully now. It may be taking some time, but we can just come to front end and check. You see now 45%, because this is a very hard job. You see, not recommended. Can you see that? Not recommended. And that's how it works. I can just look into this, check my missing skills, work on it, mobile application development, work on it, work on this, and work on this. This is the relevant experience to what they are finding. You can see it is very, very helpful, and it can help you analyze the job before actually applying. So before we go, let's take a look into our backend, right? You notice when you want to call your Langflow flow from another API, from another system, you can use this API access. You can use MCP server also. But let's look into API access, right? You need the API key. This is where this is the starting point, right? When you want to take your Langflow to another API, just look into this place, and you can now edit it to your taste. So this is how I do that. I have some handlers here, right? So this is the upload handler. It takes the data, and then upload it to our database. That's pretty much straightforward. But this analyze, also get results, this is the get result handler. Use the session ID to get the results, also straightforward. But this endpoint analyze, we need the session ID, we need the job title, and then we need the job description from the user. We encode our body. Then after getting all that, we make sure everything is present, everything we need is present. Then we construct our payload. This is the payload we are going to send to Langflow. This is our Langflow input. If you remember, I said we are going to send the user data to the AI, right? So this is the job description. So we send it. This is Langflow input that we're going to send. This is the payload. The input type is chat. Obviously, this is our input chat here. Our input type here, and this is a chat. And also our output is also a chat. So input type is chat, output type is chat, input value, Langflow, then session ID. The session ID we got from our front end. Our payload bytes, we just turn the payload into a byte. Then we create a new client. We create a new request. Then we send the client or do the request. And that's pretty much how everything works. That's how we send it. So if we handle the response, and if it is successful, we set the status to 200, then the front end can move on to getting the result. That's how the back end works. I will be making a dedicated video on how to call your Langflow from an API endpoint, but this one is just showing you directly how I did this in this current project. That is how I built JobMatch with Langflow, Golang, and React. So this is going to help job seekers like me to analyze their resume before applying for the job, to get insight on how well they will perform and the chance of actually getting the job. Thank you for watching. This is to show you how great Langflow is. You can use it to build amazing projects and integrate it into your APIs and your system. Thank you for watching. See you guys.